going on here with the problem of the day. Problem of the day today. By the way, that's what we do when we start off TNLearn Mathline. We have this little problem of the day that we look at. It says find the area of a right triangle whose hypotenuse measures 13 inches and longer leg measures 1 foot. Let's take a look at how this thing opens up and works out. First of all, we're looking for all this space inside the triangle. That's the area. That's what we talk about when we're talking about the area. All that space down in there, okay? Now, what do we do with that space? Well, we got to figure out how to get there. It is a right triangle. It is a right triangle. So this works just like an altitude. This works just like a base because they come together and make the right angle there. So the question is, what have we got here? And what do we got here? Well, it says 1 foot, the longer leg. By the way, these are the legs. 13 is our hypotenuse up there, all right? So let's play this thing out. Let's see where this is going to go. This is inches. This is a foot. We need it to be all in the same basic units of measurement, all right? So this needs to go to inches. This needs to go to inches. So we're going to make that 1 foot become 12 inches. Now things can be dealt with a lot easier in this problem. I still have a question mark over here because I don't know what it is. But it's going to take, this is our height, this will be our base, and in order to do area, we do need to know what is 1/2 times the base times the height. Those are the legs. Those are the legs that come together. Ironically, one of the legs is a foot. Isn't that interesting? Or it equals 1 foot in measurement. But we are needing the two numbers. Now we've got the 12 for the B. What we need to do is figure out how to get to the H. Well, we can work this out. Some of you are going like, well, why can't you use 13 times 12? Well, 13 is not making a right angle with that 12. It's not the altitude to 12 or the height to 12. This is all important. These are our two dimensions we got to have. So we figure it out. It's called right triangle time. It's the Pythagorean theorem. So let's take a look at how we would do that. For those of you who've forgotten, how about it? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Well, in this case, we're going to call H our A because we don't know what it is. We, however, do know that B is going to equal 12. We'll square that. And we will take our C, put a 13 in for that, and square it. So you've got 2 out of 3 means we can find the third side. Let's go for it. That's going to be H squared again. We haven't figured it out yet. We're getting close. Plus 144. That gives us 169 right over there, okay? Now, in that regard, let's do some subtracting because we need to get that H squared by itself. Then we'll take a square root moment on it. So let's do it. Let's see. Subtract 144. And I'm seeing H squared equaling to 25. That's a perfect square. That's good news. Very good news. So we will take and square root both sides. And that's going to tell me that H is equal to, we want the positive version of 5. Already that makes things look better because I've got 5 inches here. Now that's not the answer to the problem. Okay, the answer to the problem is we're looking for area, but we do have H, we do have B, we've got a 1/2, we've got all we need. All right, so let's fill it in and see what happens. Back down to here, all right? So we're going to take 1/2 times, it looks like B is 12, yeah, we're going to keep the inches. By the way, that's 5 inches over there also. And we're going to put 5 right in here. And that's the same as saying 6 times 5, which gives us 30. And folks, that 30 is square inches, all right, or inches squared, all right? And that's our story here on this one. Wow, took a little bit of doing. We had to get a height by Pythagorean theorem. We had to plug a formula, and then we had to remember we've got square inches at the end. And 13, what was it good for? It helped us get to the 5. Because once the 12 and the 13 connected together, worked out with Pythagorean theorem to get us back to 5. Problem of the day. Whew, that's a good one. That is a good one.